Welcome, everybody, to the first edition of In the Box, Professional Hockey Writers Association, bringing you hard work every single hockey season. And now we're going to talk to some of the members on video to bring you their stories, not just tweet them out, not just send them out there on the apps and the social media, but let you hear from them personally so you get an idea of sort of what they went through to get the stories. And what better time to start off the new year at the Winter Classic, where the Vegas Golden Knights, the defending Stanley Cup champion Golden Knights, against the Seattle Kraken. And if you're unfamiliar, well, of course you're unfamiliar because this is the first edition of In the Box. I'm going to be coming to you with these PHWA members every single week, if not twice, maybe 3 times a week. And we're going to do a 2-minute minor or a 5-minute major. And I say this is a 5-minute major because it's a pretty major story. The Winter Classic in Seattle, battle between the last 2 expansion teams of the NHL. And coming with us today, we have The Athletic's Jesse Granger, who covers the Golden Knights and has been covering the team since its inception, and ESPN's Ryan Clark, who covers the NHL on a national level based out of Seattle. So we are going to talk to both of them. And we'll start with Jesse Granger from The Athletic. Jesse, I saw the videos. You had a chance to skate on the ice. You're up there right now at practice. How's it going up there?
It's pretty cool. We're watching hockey outdoors. Never done that before. The players just got on the ice. I don't know if you can see them behind me, but they are out there. They've got the beanies on. They had all the players out. We're talking even the injured guys that haven't played in a while. They got everybody out there for a team photo. There's families around. Pretty cool experience so far in the game. We're not even to the game, so it's been a fun weekend already.
What's the lead up to? I know you wrote a really cool story, which we tweeted out on the PHWA Twitter account on the guys getting back to the memories of what made them fall in love with the game. Of course, growing up in cold country, guys go out on the ponds, go skate, go on the frozen ponds and skate, and so a lot of memories of childhood. What did you learn from a lot of the Golden Knights in terms of their childhood memories?
Yeah, that was one of the more fun stories I've done, especially the reporting for it. You just walk up to guys and ask about their best memories, and they tell you about the coolest things they did when they were kids on outdoor rinks, and it was a lot of fun. And Jack Eichel talked about a pond by his house that him and his buddies would go shovel and play out there. A lot of guys told me stories about homemade rinks that their fathers made that they had to maintain themselves in the backyard, playing with buddies, drinking hot chocolate in the garage to warm up while they watch hockey games on the TV. It's so cool. It shows you that these guys all come from different places, different backgrounds, but they all learn to love hockey in the same exact situation, the same exact place, and that's outdoor rinks. And you get to play a professional hockey game on an outdoor rink. All those memories start flooding back to you. It was really fun to see them talk about it, to see them remember some things that maybe they hadn't thought about in a while. One of the more fun stories to report that I've done.
Ryan, let's go to you. You talked about there's a lot of moving parts going on in Seattle, obviously with the Seahawks and then Washington being in the college football playoff. But then you have this big event. What's sort of been the mood out there and leading up to this and this battle with, the Golden Knights and a Seattle team that surprised a lot of people in the playoffs last year?
That there's certainly been a lot going on just because you look at what time practice is going on. You're seeing people coming in for a Seahawks game against the Steelers. And if only the Pittsburgh Steelers traveled well, but in all seriousness, you do have an important Seahawks game going on. And then, of course, while practice is happening the next day, of course, you're going to have the actual Winter Classic. And it's coming the same day as the University of Washington, like you said, is playing the University of Texas in the college football playoff. And what you're seeing is a really massive weekend where there's a lot going on in Seattle right now. So it's one of those things where you have an important NFL game for a team that's trying to make the playoffs. You have a UW team trying to win a national championship for the first time in more than 30 years. And then you have a Kraken team that you think about what the conversation's been with them over the last month. It's gone from what's this team going to be? Are they closer to a lottery spot? Or are they closer to the wild card? To suddenly they have now gone 6-0-2 in their last 8. They're on an 8-game point streak. And when you look at where they are, they're a 500 team going into a Winter Classic against the defending Stanley Cup champions. And the thought is, could this be the start of maybe the Kraken really finding a way to get back into the playoff conversation and getting one of those wild card spots in what's certainly been a hectic and in some ways expected but unexpected Western Conference playoff race?
What are you going to be are you looking for anything specific when you cover this game? What can we expect to see from Ryan Clark on ESPN.com?
Well, with a game like this, it's just one of those things where we've seen so many of these Winter Classics now. It's been more than a decade that you look at sort of like what is the unique thing about a game like this. And so, of course, you look at the way the field is set up with the sort of oceanographic maps that they have of what Puget Sound is. But really, in terms of the hockey perspective of a game like this, with Vegas, they've been playing in big atmospheres really since day one. And when you think about, okay, the fact that 2023 is about to end, so we're going into 2024, the last 6 months, all Vegas is known as big stages. Whereas with the Kraken, they've seen big stages before, but you're curious to see how they're going to look and perform in a game like this with so much attention, especially considering how much of a whirlwind the last 7 to 8 months has been for a team that went from lottery team to playoff team to no one really knew what they were this year, and no one really still knows. But a game like this could kind of help maybe answer those questions about what are the Kraken.
And Jesse, for you, I know that you come out of games sometimes and not necessarily writing about the game, but you'll find an angle from it. Is there anything you're looking forward to from this game to write about?
Honestly, I'm looking at it as the whole weekend, and part of that is just talking to the players that have played in Winter Classics before, like Jack Eichel. They always bring up that the game is cool, but it's more about the weekend, and like they're going to have their families out here on the ice with them later today. I'm going to be writing kind of a sights and sounds story, just getting into the details of everything I see out here, just the cool little things you notice that maybe you don't get to see on the broadcast, whether it's today or tomorrow in the lead up to the game or in the game itself. I'm just looking for little details. Here's one. They've got a scoreboard with the clock on it embedded in the boards because the stadium is so oddly shaped, and they want the players to be able to see how much time's left at all times. They don't know exactly where to look because it's not normal. We got to see last night when we were out on the ice. It is really cool. They've just got a little strip LED thing with the time embedded in the boards in the corner so that the players can see what time it is. Just little things like that I'll be looking for all weekend.
Right on. That's cool. And in relation to having the families on the ice, I know one thing you and I can appreciate is that very first season with the original Golden Misfits, and what Marchessault would come out there with one or two little kids, and now he's got a few. So I mean, it's been quite a change since he's been Vegas alone. So looking forward to those stories, guys. I kept you over in the box a little bit longer, so your penalties lasted a little bit longer, but for the inaugural run, we'll take it. For the Winter Classic, make sure you check out Ryan Clark on ESPN.com. Jesse Granger with the Athletic guys. I appreciate you joining us this morning. Have a great time at the game.
Thanks for having us.